Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy. Today what we're going to do is we're making a Red IPA Ale. I'm just about out of beer. I like to have my beer. But first, there is, like I always say, 5 things you can do to help us out. Number 1, subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Number 2, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you get alerts when we put something out. Number 3, give us a thumbs up if you like what you see. Number 4, share us with your friends and get the word out to everybody. And number 5, leave a comment down below. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 9 gallons of water to my brew pot, start heating it up. And I want to get it to about 170 degrees, so I'll put some water into my mash tun and we'll get the grains mashing in. Okay, so let me get this filled up to about 9 gallons and I'll heat it up and then I'll be back. Okay, I got my water heated up to about 170 degrees or so. So it's time to put some water in our mash tun, about 3.5 gallons. Okay, so let me bring you on over here. Okay, so my water's heating up, and if you notice, I have a hose hooked from my brew kettle to an electric pump, from the electric pump up into my mash tun. Then I have a switch right here. Turn that on, and we're going to fill it up with about 3.5 gallons of 170 degree water, and by the time I add the grains in, it should drop it down, and I want my temperature to be right around 152 to 155. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, I got about 3.5 gallons of water in my mash tun. I'm going to mix in the grains. So make sure you stir pretty good as you're putting them in. It's going to be like oatmeal when you put it in. I'll show you here in a second. And we want to check our temperature. Like I said, we're looking for, I don't know, 152 to 155. We can either add a little bit of hot water or a little bit of cold water to get it to where we want it. I like to be up on the higher end of the scale because it will naturally cool down, because we're going to leave it in here for about an hour. And we are looking at about 150, about 157. And I think I'm going to leave it right there because she's going to cool down to where we need it. Now I still have my heat on my brew kettle, because I'm going to heat that water up to about boiling and put it in my hot liquor tank. And we'll save that for when we go to sparge these grains out. Okay, so let me get this closed up. We're going to let it sit for about an hour and let the conversion take place, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm transferring my leftover hot water out of my brew kettle over into my hot liquor tank. That's where the pump really comes in handy, because I don't have to deal with that boiling water. Yeah, that is kind of dangerous. It's very, very, very easy for me to do. Okay, it's been about an hour and 10 minutes, so this should be done. So what we'll do is we'll start draining it into our brew pot here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to batch sparge. So what that means is I'll drain this out, fill her up with hot water, and do it again until I collect about 6 gallons. And between each, give her a good stir. Got a nice color coming out. So I got water in my hot liquor tank over here. So I'll be pumping the water out of there, pumping it in through this hose here. And what we're trying to do is just flush all the flavors and the sugars out of the grain into our brew pot. Alright, let me pump some water in here. Give it a stir. You can really see it. You can really see some nice color coming out. Let's go with some more water. I like to give it a stir every time just so we can get some, make sure we try to get all that goodness out of there. Okay, so let me finish doing this and we'll be back. I like to collect about, I don't know, 6.5 gallons of wort in my pot because during the boil we're going to lose real close to a gallon of liquid. Alright, so I'm starting to warm it up now. Just for curiosity's sake, I might just get a hydrometer reading. Now, of course, this will change after the boil because we're going to be losing water and be leaving the sugar back. But just for curiosity's sake. One point 1.45. Okay, but like I said, we're going to drop this. We're going to take about a gallon of this water out, so that will change the specific gravity, the starting gravity. All right, so now we got to heat this up to boiling, and then we'll start doing our hop additions. Now, one thing that I do, it seems to help out, is I just mark on the packages of hops, like this one here's, it's for the 45 minutes. This one's going to be for the 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes. And then these two are going to go in and flame out. And it just helps you keep them straight Because you'd be surprised how you can get doing things and you can kind of forget. Okay, so let me get this up to boiling. It won't take long because it's pretty warm now. That's okay, and then I'll see you back when we do our first hop addition. Once it comes to a boil, I set the timer for 1 hour. It's been 15 minutes, so it's time for our first hop addition, and it's 1 ounce of Simcoe pellet hops. I don't know if I said that right, probably not. Smells so good, so we'll just put them in, give it a little stir. Let you take a look. I don't know if you'll be able to see it because it's okay. So we'll be back for the next hop addition, which will be at 20 minutes. The next hop addition, so we'll be back in. Okay, so we're at the 20 minute mark, and so we add another ounce of the small pellets to our boil. Okay. Let's go ahead and add these in. I mean, the smell is fantastic. I do like brewing beer. Alright, so the next addition, let me move you back up here. Okay, so we'll see you at the last additions, which is at flame out. Okay, so we'll see you in a little while. Our boil's over with, so we'll make the last 2 hop additions and we'll whirlpool this in. It is 1 ounce of Centennial pellet hops, and 1 more ounce of the Simcoe. So we'll get that stirred in for about 5 minutes, and then we'll be ready for the next step, which will be cooling it down, putting it in the fermenter, and adding the yeast. Okay, so we're ready for that. I'll come back. Okay, just to let you know what's going on, we're going to take the hot wort out of there to the pump, over to a plate chiller, which has 2 water lines going to it, and then it will be going into the fermenter, and that's going to cool it down. Okay, so we got our wort cooled down. It's to about 70 degrees. Now we got to introduce some oxygen into the wort to help the yeast out to get started. This is about the only time that we want oxygen in the wort. Okay, so now we will put our yeast in. Okay, that's all there is to it. We'll sanitize the lid. We'll hang the fermenter back on the wall. We'll put the lid on it with an airlock, and we'll ferment 4 weeks in this, and then it'll be done, and we'll keg it, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I did cool my wort down to about 70 degrees, 72, somewhere that close, and we pitched our yeast. Well, before that, I checked my specific gravity. It came in at 1.055 for my original gravity. The recipe I had, it called for 1.060. So I'm pretty close. I'm happy with that. So I got it in the fast fermenter to stay in there for 4 weeks. and then she'll be ready to keg. I just wanted to say thanks for watching. Enjoy the adventure. We'll see you next time.